Hey YouTube, I want to share a little tool tip with you. Today it's about working with tape. Now this isn't a very big thing, but it can save you a little bit of grief in the long run. I started doing this back when I worked for a company that was too cheap to buy good tape. I had to do a lot of shipping, and the people that always used the tape before me would just leave the tape stuck back down, and to get it back up again, this was really super thin tape. A lot of times you couldn't even see where it started. And then once you found it, you start digging away, trying to get it started. And this is good heavy 3M tape, and it's a little bit hard to start. This other stuff was half this thick, and frequently you'd find the beginning of it and you couldn't tell which direction it went. So anyway, I started folding the ends over. Now this one just has a little tab folded over, but I used to do it this way. As soon as I'd use a piece of tape, I'd fold the end over, so the next time it was easy to find the end. So you might want to cut the end off depending on what you're going to use it for. And then when you cut your next piece of tape, I just put my fingers like so, cut it, fold it, set it down, and then I have a piece of tape to work with. Of course, I cut this one too small. I'm going to cut it again. So now you can, if you're taping boxes, like this is just an empty box I had sitting around. So I just found the end pretty easy, even though I don't have my glasses on. And now this little, if you just fold the corner over, it doesn't really hurt anything. So I can tape this box down, fold the tab over. The box is sealed up and it's ready to go the next time. Where I used to work, we used a lot of masking tape, and once again they bought the cheapest masking tape they could get, and it was super thin, it tore easy. Sometimes you get it started and it would, you get one corner started, it would tear, and then you'd have a dickens of a time getting it going. So on this one, once again I left it, the last time I used it I folded a tab over. Now once again, this is good tape. I don't buy cheap stuff anymore, I don't need to. So you get it started, fold over a piece. Now let's say you're going to mask something, and you have this little tab here, and that actually works out to your benefit, because you can mask off where you're going to mask, then just tear your tape, and for the next piece you fold the corner over as well, you mask it, tear it, and when you're done you fold it over, put that away. So then you spray paint or whatever you're going to do, and then you've got to take the masking tape up. So once you left that little fold there, it's really easy to get it started. You just peel it right up and you're good to go. There's no hunting for an end that you can peel up. Now you have to work your masking job so that you always leave those folded parts exposed, and sometimes you need to have a nice square piece, of course. And mask it down. I'll go easy on the tape here so I don't waste a lot of it. And say you needed to have a nice square corner. The next piece though, you can fold that corner over. Start it wherever it needs to go. In this case you don't even have to go all the way to the corner. And you're good to go. And then when you're ready to pull it up, just pull it up. Some tapes that are naturally thick, like duct tape, sometimes you think that you don't need to fold it over because it's pretty easy to get to. Now once again, this is high quality tape, but I've worked with low quality tapes before that when you peel up the corner and you can get it going, it'll tear like this. And then once you get it started tearing, it wants to stay stuck down over here, and you pull it up. Now, of course this is good tape again, but it'll do something like that where it starts to tear and you can't seem to get it. Even when you pull both pieces up like that, if it's a little bit off, it'll tear. So I almost always fold over at least a corner. With duct tape frequently, especially this low quality duct tape, I'll fold over a complete tab. So it's ready to go. Now I should have grabbed something. I'm going to pause this. This works with just about any kind of tape. This is Tyvek tape for house wrap. put their house wrap on there and you tape all the joints to keep the air out. This is typically really thin, and it's really hard to get it to find it, especially when it's cold and you're outside, and a lot of times you have gloves on. But if you fold the tab over, it starts right up. So I just hold my fingers like that, and if you're whether you're using a knife or a scissors, it doesn't matter. Fold it over, you're ready to go. Now electrical tape is the same thing. This is nice thick tape, so it's fairly easy to get started. And also I cut this the last time, I didn't stretch it. But if you're, one of the techniques for using electrical tape, at least this is what I was taught, you wrap the thing around and then you just pull it and break it. And when you do that, then the tape is stretched to even thinner. And when you leave that for a while, then the thin edge is hard to get started. So, let's say you're bundling some wires. Imagine that these have been stripped and they're tied together, wound together. I'm just tying them up, insulating them. So what I used to do is I would just pull this off, pull it, and then wrap it the rest of the way. That works pretty good until you just realize you've made a mistake, or years later you take it apart and you want to fix, add something to it. And that stretched edge is just really hard to find. So I end up cutting it off, usually, which works okay. So let's say I'm winding this up here again. And I know I want to fix this, do something different with this later. Let's cut off a piece of tape. Get it nice and insulated. And when I get down to the last little bit, I'll just fold over a little bit of it. So when it comes time to take it apart, I'll have to just find that folded over piece. And there you go. It comes apart. That works especially well when you're trying to fish a wire through a hole. Now this is just a small piece of wire, we'll just use it. Make a hook. We'll take, let's say we're going to fish this bundle of wires through there. Typically you would fold the wires over, or the hook over, one of the two, but you've got to make it so they stay together. And you'll tape it. You have to just tape it secure enough so it doesn't come unhooked in the middle of your conduit or whatever you're fishing it through, the wall or whatever. Nice and secure. Cut the tape. Fold the tab. Fold the tab on this one. And then stretch it the rest of the way around. Fish it through your conduit, hole in the wall or whatever, and then you can find the end easy enough and undo it. So that's about it. There's a bunch of different ways you can use that idea, but the whole idea is you just fold the tab and makes it easier to get to the tape the next time, makes it easier to take the tape off. That's all.